Yo, dudes and dudettes! Welcome back to the Ninjas of Ruthlessness. I'm the water ninja, drinking with zest, talking cartoons is where I'm at my best. And we got us another Ruthless review of Rick and Morty Season 8, Episode 8. No Mortland. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like the last episode. Last episode was kind of a low for me. Everything around the episode didn't have any real substance for me to care about, and it wasn't even that interesting or funny or anything like that. It was just whatever to me. But this episode looks interesting. I saw the preview. It's like 2 Jerrys, so it's gonna be a Jerry episode. Hopefully it's funny, man. Jerry's a complex character. It's just he's the punching bag of the family, but he has moments where you want to see him win. It's because he's just such a nice person, but he's also a coward. So there's a lot of mix to Jerry that just makes him a nice character, but you don't wanna you wanna root for him, but you don't wanna root for him. So hopefully this is a dope episode.
Jerry with the 5 o'clock shadow, sitting at the table, eating cereal while the family passes by and ignoring him. The space path, while Rick sees through the excuse and asks her if she don't want to hang out, just say you don't want to hang out. She says she doesn't want to hang out. Summer goes into the fridge looking for her kombucha. Morty explains that he threw it out because he didn't like the smell. He said it smelled bad, and running away, Morty chases after her. Beth walks out the front door.
This allows Jerry with the 5 o'clock shadow to keep eating his cereal without concern until another Jerry walks in. So it turns out the Jerry that was sitting at the table eating the cereal is not the real Jerry, or not the Jerry of that universe. And Jerry just stares at him with confusion until the Jerry that was eating the cereal gets up from the table and Jerry just chases after him. Beta Jerry runs back into the dining room to grab the cereal. He grabs the cereal and runs away with the cereal in his hand. They're running outside. Jerry catches bearded Jerry and pins him down to the ground. The bearded Jerry says he gives up, and the real Jerry asks if he's a clone or if Rick knows about him. Jerry with the beard says, "Don't tell Rick." Jerry with the beard says, "Fine, he'll explain, just not here. They have to go somewhere else, more private, away from the family." Alright, so far, the episode's been pretty interesting. Just seeing 2 Jerrys, this already looks like it's gonna be interesting. Something's up with this Jerry where it's I'm guessing from another universe, but I'm excited to see where this goes. So both Jerrys are at the mall. Real Jerry's explains that Rick hates the mall. Real Jerry's is thinking about getting the job at the clothing store American Eagle. Beard Jerry saw him Eagle Man as a nickname. Jerry asks the Beard Jerry if Beard Jerry is from the future and is here to kill Jerry. Beard Jerry explains that he travels to different universes. Jerry explains that Bearded Jerry cannot stay here in this universe, and Bearded Jerry says no problem. He just needs to get to his closet. Bearded Jerry explains that he finds cracks in different universes. They go back to Jerry's house. Rich comes for Jerry to get inside. Rick was just mad that he couldn't fit his stuff in the freezer, and Bearded Jerry tells regular Jerry to just go inside and talk to him. Well, Bearded Jerry tries to go upstairs. Regular Jerry goes to talk to Rick. Rick explains that Jerry's stuff is in the freezer and there's limited space in there, and Jerry tries to change the subject by mentioning a TV show called Naked and Alone, but then Rick gets angry and tells Jerry not to waste the freezer space. The scene shifts to Jerry going upstairs and noticing Bearded Jerry closet. Rick gives Beth a spatially dilated closet, meaning that it looks small on the outside but is bigger on the inside. Bearded Jerry shows Jerry that he can just stick his hand in the wall to go to a neighboring universe, and asks regular Jerry if he wants to come with him. But then Rick screaming loudly about being angry that Jerry talked to him earlier. After hearing that, Bearded Jerry takes Jerry's hand and they walk into the wall of the closet, which opens up to a bigger space similar to Narnia. Walk into the wardrobe. Let's still engage you for talking to me. That's hilarious. This other Jerry can just go through cracks in the multiverse. As a thing, this definitely seems like it's gonna get really interesting before it gets boring. So, and of course, Jerry's playing into it, but he's definitely gonna get screwed over at some point by this. Other Jerry leaves signals and markings for other Jerry to know that it's safe to come through. So both Jerrys are actually Rick and Morty in Rick's car dealing with a giant ant, and all they're saying is blah. blah blah blah. Bearded Jerry explains that in this universe all words are blah, and when the summer of that universe confronts Jerry, he plays it off by just saying blah while she walks away crying at a situation she probably had before. Jerry runs into the bathroom. He says he's ready to go to the next place. In the bathroom, Bearded Jerry opens up the mirror and explains that it's an infinite mirror tunnel, and they use it to go to the next universe. They go to a universe where it seems a instant ice age occurred. They walk outside and notice the family is permanently frozen. The two Jerrys feel bad about the situation, but they move forward. Bearded Jerry then shows regular Jerry a wall about a keepsake that other Jerry come by and place something on to remember the family that perished in this universe. Bearded Jerry then exclaims that Eagle Man Jerry's now part of the crew. They're all the same. They're all one person. A musical montage plays of the two Jerrys traveling through different universes, showing goat versions of the family gathered around a giant tin can and eating it, where everything is like a hippie Woodstock type festival with humans and aliens all dancing and having fun together. Scene then shifts to Jerry relaxing in the ocean in front of a version of the house that's on a deserted island. When Rick goes inside the house, two other Jerrys come out of the water. Jerry from that universe and Eagle Man Jerry. Eagle Man Jerry then asks the Jerry of that universe that Rick has to know that that's not really him. Jerry from that universe, that if Rick does know, he clearly doesn't care.
Yeah, I already finally did the goat thing. Because, like, the goat thing really felt like that was going to be one of the scenes in the intro that actually was a part of an episode. I just had a good feeling about that one. But yeah, they finally did the goat family, so that was cool. So the Jerrys are just going through different multiverses. Like, this is interesting to see, but I really want to see, like, when does it, like, get dark? When does it actually go bad for our Jerry? But this Jerry with the 5 o'clock shadow, he seems pretty cool. I'm just waiting for that big twist. I already know, so he's gonna do something. He's gonna pull something off. And they're probably gonna run into like other Jerrys too. And then there's probably gonna be issues. But it's the funny part that's just like this Jerry claims that because he's a Jerry, he's invisible. Not in an actual sense, but in the sense that nobody cares to even pay attention to him. And he has all day to just look around for like pockets in the multiverse that just blend into each other. This is an interesting like topic that could like appear in like other episodes in the future. Either that or Rick is just gonna be like angry at this and just like close all the pockets to all the multiverses. But this gives Jerry something to do. I just really want to see how this is going to screw him over. Disco ball, Death Star type device that is constantly burning the planet with rays of light. Two Jerrys sit on a roof and enjoy the view of the giant disco ball moon. And Bearded Jerry explains that he's surprised that Eagle Man Jerry decided to come out this far. And Eagle Man Jerry explains his story, a quick version of his exploits. His family jumped together to the Parmesian universe that they're from now. Bearded Jerry remarks about how cool that is. Eagle Man Jerry thinks about how good his life really is when he thinks about it. Bearded Jerry decides that it's time to go home, but he thanks Eagle Man Jerry for the good time because it was the most fun he had in a while. Eagle Man Jerry to grab beers from the shower of that house. He gets the beers and they drink the beer. I'm really liking this so far. It's kind of like a league of Jerrys now. Like there was always like the Citadel of Ricks and all that, but like to see the Jerrys like show with each other and just like vibe, it just feels nice and wholesome and interesting because they only care about just living simplistically and just enjoying themselves. Now, this would be an awesome opportunity for them to bring in Doofus Jerry, and that's part of the Rick and Morty comics, for those that don't know. And he is a badass in the comics, so if this leads to that, that'll be awesome. I don't think it's going to, but it would be awesome if it does. Seeing cuts to them trying to run as fast as they can to where Tapo restaurant, Rick shoots a portal on the ground, him and Morty jump into it. That was the way they were gonna get back, but they missed that opportunity. Eagle Man Jerry freaks out about missing a connection and not understanding what that means. Mooch Jerry tells him that it's okay, and that those versions of Rick and Morty portal to this taco place every week. Eagle Man Jerry says that he wants to get home immediately because he knows his Rick will replace him if he's not there. Mooch Jerry tells him there's a gene in that universe that they could stay with for a week until that version of Rick and Morty come back. Eagle Man Jerry doesn't care, and Mooch Jerry says, okay, I have an idea. So they go to a bag located in the woods that's tied to a rope. Mooch Jerry says the only way for him to get home fast is to go through Grand Central. So they go inside of the bag. Mooch Jerry explains that a couple of Morty tried to pull a keg out of their bag
and turned it inside out. So now that bag is used as like a toll road. So when they come out of the bag on the other side in another universe, they notice another Jerry with a bandana on his head. Jerry tries to introduce himself as the Eagle Man, but the Jerry with the bandana ignores him, pulls out a walkie-talkie, and informs another Jerry that 2 Jerrys came out of the bag. Another Jerry with a bandana hears with a golf cart and tells the 2 Jerrys to get in the golf cart and drives to a disheveled version of their home with tents in the front. So as they're walking through the house, they see a whole bunch of Jerrys that look homeless. Moose Jerry says, "Welcome to Grand Central." And he explains that that's not his favorite place. Jerry asks about the situation, about what's going on here. And Moose Jerry explains that this is where Jerrys that were abandoned by their families stay and work for the boss Jerry that runs this place. It's just the way he looks. But as they walk upstairs, Jerry notices a cracked out Rick trying to smoke a portal crystal. Mooch Jerry tells him to play it cool. They walk up to Boss Jerry. Boss Jerry addresses 5 o'clock Shadow Jerry as Mooch, and Mooch introduces Eagle Man. Mooch Jerry is asking to take regular Jerry back to his universe. Boss Jerry explains that the fares for the tolls are up because one of the Ricks patched up the routes that they usually use. Mooch understands and then pays Boss Jerry money. Boss Jerry takes some money while Eagle Man Jerry is surprised that Mooch has money. Boss Jerry then explains that he doesn't have a job and that they just take money from other Jerrys because all of Jerrys usually have the same PIN number for their bank account. 2 bandana Jerrys quickly grab them while Boss Jerry tells the bandana Jerrys to search them. This then causes our Jerry to be mad and curse. "Stop, Boss Jerry." Boss Jerry asks Mooch where did he find his guy and if Mooch Jerry is finding new routes and not telling him. Mooch Jerry says that Boss Jerry can take everything that he has, while Eagle Man Jerry then explains that his Rick can kick his ass. Boss Jerry then tells him that Jerry shouldn't need Rick. Rick should need him. He then grabs his cracked out Rick's hair to send the 2 Jerrys back and lock their way out of Mooch Jerry's universe and to blacklist them so they can't get back. Mooch Jerry is upset by the fact that they've been cut off from the path, but Normal Jerry isn't having it, wants to go back home, and Mooch Jerry explains his situation where he left his family and Beth remarried. Jerry walks away. Jerry explains that he's going to a house because there might be an exit there. Mooch Jerry is trying to convince him not to go. Jerry actually says that he doesn't trust Mooch Jerry anymore. He's mad that he lost his opportunity to be with his family. Mooch Jerry then breaks down and explains that he left his dimension because he felt unappreciated, and by the time he came back, Beth had remarried. Jerry then talks on Mooch Jerry, saying that he's the most pathetic version of himself because he doesn't live the nomad life because he wants to. He lives the nomad life because he has to. Mooch Jerry breaks down, agrees with him, saying that he is a loser, but he just really does not want to face his family. When they knock on the door of the house, this character named Paul Fleischman, and is surprised to see 2 Jerrys. This is a character that appeared in season 2 of Rick and Morty in the Jerry Berry episode. So in this universe, Beth remarried Paul Fleischman that's answering the door right now. Paul happily invites both of them into the house and informs Beth that Jerry has returned. Yo, so far I'm taking where they're going with this. The mafioso Jerry is just that was cool. I definitely want to see like more of him, like to get to the point where he could drug out and control his Rick. Apparently, now that's interesting. I definitely want to see more of him. But just the fact that the Jerry with the beard left his family and Beth remarried. Let them even remarry that time where they actually like broke up for real and divorced and all that. But to see that this Jerry actually just like straight up just lost his family like that, and this is the guy that Beth remarries. Like, this is the stuff I want to see, man. I'm excited to see where this goes. Yo, I feel bad for that Jerry, cause like literally without Rick and Beth and Morty and Summer, like Jerry, like his whole thing is being pathetic. His whole thing is just being like a loser. Now, whether or not like this Jerry could have applied himself differently instead of like hanging on to that whole multiverse hopping thing is an interesting question. But it's like even being able to find the multiverse like places and holes that he was able to find, like he would never have been exposed to stuff like that if it wasn't for Rick. So it's just like, and to see him like in a state of like not having that and losing it is real interesting. So far they got me. I really want them to stick the landing. I really hope they stick the landing on this, because this is prime right here. This is amazing. I want to see them like continue to develop this, and this, I really hope it sticks the landing, bro. This better be like, at the end, I better have like my jaw dropped. Like this better be awesome, because right now the setup is just too lit right now. It's too amazing.
In this universe, everybody has a 5 o'clock shadow, and the entire family sits at the dining room table to discuss the situation while Jerry is eating cereal. Beth is angry that Jerry abandoned the family to travel the multiverse. Mooch Jerry tries to explain that he only did it because Beth resented him, the kids don't respect him, and Rick hates him, so he couldn't take it anymore. The family explains that
if he wanted respect, then he should do something worthy of respect instead of just disappearing. Which Jerry gets up from the table in anger and tries to leave, but regular Jerry stops him from leaving and tells him to face his problems head on instead of just leaving and disappearing. Jerry then points out how much Mooch really loves his family. The Morty of that universe likes to eat bugs, and that the Summer of that universe doesn't like to take showers, but she explains that she's been working on that. Mooch Jerry sits back down and explains that he's sorry for what he did, but by the time that he came back, he saw that Beth had already met Paul, and that the family looked so happy without him, and that he thought that they hated him. Summer explains that they do hate him a little, but Beth explains that they still love him though. And Morty explains that Paul is a better father than Jerry. Mooch Jerry then explains that he thought they were taking him for granted, but in reality, he took them for granted. He then asks if there's a way that Rick can take regular Jerry home. Rick asks for an address. Jerry doesn't know what to say, other than it's a universe where they say Parmesan instead of Parmesan. After not knowing the address of his universe, Mooch Jerry suggests that Rick just helps them get back on the road through the shed they came out of. The two Jerrys plan to sneak in to Grand Central by putting bandanas on their head. They come out of a washing machine in the garage where they see a bandana Jerry reading a Fight Club book. Regular Jerry just
loses control of the situation and pushes the bandana Jerry, and they run through the house. They run into the living room while being chased by the other Jerrys, and they jump into the couch and come out of the couch in a universe where everyone's face is structured like a painting. They run around the house and jump right back into the couch in order to try to get away. They go to different universes on the road in a chase sequence similar to the montage that they had earlier. The two Jerrys to use the shrink ray that they used earlier on a mouse to make it bigger, and they ride a giant mouse. They use the giant mouse to take them where the portal bag with the string is, while Boss Jerry chases them in the bag to try and pursue them. As Mooch Jerry and Eagle Jerry go through the bag, they come out the other side, and Mooch Jerry is a knife and cuts the rope, which allows the bag to collapse in on itself, trapping Boss Jerry inside. They get back to regular Jerry's universe. Coming out of the closet, Mooch Jerry then explains that he's done mooching off of other people and that he's gonna try to travel the multiverse road again. Now that Boss Jerry isn't there, he then thanks regular Jerry and leaves. When Mooch Jerry leaves through the rift in the closet, Beth and the family come into the room. They were looking all over for Jerry. Jerry's surprised that they were actually looking for him, and the family explains that they had a little adventure while Jerry was having his own adventure. Summer explains that Jerry missed out on seeing Morty meeting with an octopus. Morty explains that it'll probably happen again. Summer asked him what was he even doing up here. Jerry, in a coy manner, looking away from the family, says that he was enjoying some me time. The family says gross, while Jerry tries to explain that, well, he didn't mean that he was jerking off. The family says gross again because they weren't even thinking about that. They make fun of Jerry and then they walk away. The family leaves the room and Jerry flips the coaster on his nightstand. Rick then pops back into the room and asks what he was doing. Jerry tries to play it off and says nothing. Rick then looks at the closet and looks at the coaster and explains like Jerry, that it would be good for him. This implies that Rick knows about the road and what Jerry has been doing. After Rick leaves the room again, Jerry then flips the coaster back as a sign of him not being okay with other Jerrys coming to his reality. The end credit scene, a clip from the show that Jerry and Rick were talking about earlier, Naked and Afraid, plays on the screen. The scene then shows Rick naked with a bowl of popcorn watching the show in the dark in the living room. Beth walks in to ask Rick a question. She's shocked and disgusted to see Rick naked in the living room. Rick then tries to explain that it's a part of the culture of the show to watch it naked. The scene then shows Jerry supports Rick by saying that it is a part of the culture of the show. Beth is disgusted and walks away. Rick and Jerry then continue to watch the show while eating popcorn. The thing about that episode for me was, I like that it brings up
the potential for Jerry to be more than just Jerry. He didn't even have to like turn evil. I kind of wanted to see a Jerry that was like way more ruthless than the Jerry that I did see. Like the Jerry with the jacket, yeah, he was like ruthless, and just to see him like in charge of a Rick, like controlling a Rick like that. Jerry and Rick have an interesting dynamic. Like it's literally just Rick just hating and dogging on like Jerry for the most part. But like at the end, like the end credit scene, like they can enjoy each other. Like Rick can soften up around Jerry like every now and then. Especially when Jerry's trying to make small talk with him about some TV show. When Rick was complaining about like the freezer being full. And then Rick actually like accepted it. Like he actually like went with it for a little while. Like, and it's like they seem to have like their camaraderie like every now and then. Like, so it definitely like this episode definitely like made me think about that. And then just to see that dynamic like flipped on his head with like crackhead Rick. I would call him crackhead Rick. And jacket Jerry or boss Jerry. Just that dynamic. Seeing that dynamic was enough to like bring this episode up. But like the episode ended in like a predictable schmaltzy kind of way. Like it's just like Jerry recognizing like, yeah, even though like his family dunks on him, they still love him, they still care about him. Especially when Beth remarried it and replaced Jerry, and the family here like all agree that yeah, the new guy's better than Jerry. It just seems funny that this episode, it was just simple. It could have been more epic, but my guess is that, you know, they blew all the budget on like the previous episodes. But yeah, this episode, it was simple. It was simple. It was lighthearted. It was fun. It was enjoyable. It was definitely enjoyable.
I'm just the type of person that hates seeing wasted potential. And I'm not saying they should have made an evil Jerry or something like that, but like, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to it. The boss Jerry with the jacket, he wasn't evil, but like he was definitely kind of evil-ish, aggressive. And just knowing like Jerry's like state in the show, like his character and like how others treat him, it makes me wonder like Jerry with the beard, when his family, you know, annoyed him, he just disappeared. But like, and then to come back and see that they replaced him, the mom remarried, the family feel happy with the new guy. Like to me, that would build up some resentment. The thing is about Jerry too, it's just like he's pathetic to a fault where he knows that he's pathetic, and he won't even try to be like greater than his pathetic self, even though we know he's capable like that. But Jerry in the Cronenberg world, even when Beth and Summer died, Jerry was lone wolfing it and he was surviving. He was doing his own thing and he was becoming a better in terms of being like more capable. He was a more capable person once like everybody else was gone, and he couldn't like rely on others, or he couldn't be distracted by others. He could actually just work on himself. But like that's the saddest Jerry. It's just like Jerry's pathetic, but to see him like be like actually successful, it's gonna take like a whole mountain of life changing for that to happen. Like he has to like stop relying on others like he does normally, and then once he just embraces a path of being to himself and trying to be a better person, he could end up being a better person. But for some reason he just doesn't.
Like even the Jerry that we know, like him saying that he wanted to work at American Eagle, it's like, why hasn't he? And it's like, I get it, the writers just don't want him to like progress. That's his whole character shtick. I get the real reason why. But character-wise, this episode just showed me Jerry really is just pathetic on a level to where he won't even improve himself. When your wife is a horse surgeon and your father-in-law is a genius that could just build whatever, I could see a reason not to better yourself a little bit. At the very least, he knows that he get Rick's help for like almost anything. Like Rick almost seems obligated to help at times. And Jerry has ambitions. Like he's writing plays, he's writing stories, he's writing books. Like he has hobbies. He's doing things. He was doing the beekeeper thing for a while. Like Jerry has ambitions. It's just he doesn't fully maximize himself. And he doesn't care to. He's okay with the position that he has in mind. And I felt like they could have been like a lot more dramatic with this story and with this episode. It was kind of dramatic how like Beth remarried just because Jerry disappeared for like a week or two. And Beth enjoys him for whatever it's worth. But whether like, you know, she just enjoys him just as like a toy, or like, you know, a lesser being that she could just lord over, or if like she like, you know, really just loves him for him, or maybe she just loves him because like Jerry actually just brings a level of like normalcy that she's probably not gonna find with like anybody else really. But either way, the point being that just seeing Jerry and his wasted potential, this episode could have been like so much more. But what they gave us was good. What they gave us was awesome. I love the setup. I like the middle part. I just wish there was more to that middle part to make me love it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And then the ending was just okay.
I was indifferent about the ending. Didn't really like it, didn't really love it, just indifferent. Only because like the story could have exploded into something like way deeper than what it actually just was. It was just too simple for me. Wish it could have been better, wish it could have been more, but what they did give us was just interesting in general. Like the idea of this episode, it was an interesting idea. I'm just surprised that Rick didn't intervene sooner or like at all, really. The bearded Jerry already explained it. Like nobody really cares about what Jerry does. So he's free to get into all types of mischief if he wants. As long as he comes home at the end of the day, that's all they really care about. As long as he's there, as long as he's okay, that's all they really care about. And the end credit scene where Jerry and Rick are watching the show make it. Is that really a thing? Is that like based on an actual show where like the culture of the show is to watch it naked, or is that just something like they just made up? That's hilarious. That's an actual like thing, or if they just like made that up for the show. Otherwise, it was an interesting episode, man. I liked it. Wish they could have did more. Like I said, if you don't know about Doofus Jerry, you gotta go read that comic. You gotta go read that comic. That Doofus Jerry, I really wanted to see Doofus Jerry, but what we got was fine. It is what it is, dudes. It is what it is, dudettes. Overall, I'm gonna give it this a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10, dudes and dudettes. Alright, dudes and dudettes, this has been the Water Ninja from the Ninjas of Ruthlessness. Like, share, and subscribe for more Ninjas of Ruthlessness.
Ruthless reviews.